Did you know? The placebo effect isn't just in your head, it actually activates real pain-reducing pathways in your brain, even releasing natural opioids. It can reduce pain by a surprising 50% for some folks. Our entire Milky Way galaxy and thousands of others are actually being pulled towards a mysterious area in space called the Great Attractor. It's located around 150 to 250 million light years away, and we don't fully understand it. Seriously wild stuff. The Chesapeake Bay Retriever was specifically bred in the early 19th century in Maryland to retrieve ducks in icy cold water. Their dense, oily double coat helps them stay warm and dry, making them perfect water dogs. You don't actually see one smooth, continuous image. Your eyes make quick, jerky movements called saccades multiple times a second. Your brain stitches these tiny snapshots together seamlessly. The legendary jazz musician and singer Nat King Cole actually started his life in Montgomery, Alabama. He was born in 1909 before his family moved north, but his roots are firmly in the Yellowhammer State. North Carolina is seriously obsessed with sweet potatoes, producing more of them than any other state. In fact, they grow over 60% of the entire U.S. sweet potato crop, making them the undisputed champion. Mark Gonzalez is often credited as the original pioneer of modern street skating in the 1980s, creatively using urban obstacles in totally new ways. He even landed the first ollie over a trash can, redefining street skateboarding forever. Mount Logan in Canada's Yukon Territory holds the title for the largest base circumference of any non-volcanic mountain. It stretches about 40 kilometers across, making it a truly massive landmass. The first safety match was patented in 1844 by Swedish chemist Gustav Erik Pasch, though his design wasn't perfect. It was refined into the popular version we know today by John Edvard Lundström's brothers in 1855. The inland taipan has the most potent venom of any land snake in the world. No joke. Just one bite contains enough neurotoxin to kill over 100 adult humans if left untreated. The northernmost permanently inhabited place in the world is in Canada called Alert Nunavut. It's only about 817 kilometers from the North Pole, making it super remote for its roughly 62 permanent residents. One of the earliest recorded oil fields in the United States was the Burning Springs field in Wirt County, West Virginia, discovered in 1860. This initial find caused a massive oil rush during the Civil War era. Deep in the ocean, hydrothermal vents called black smokers spew super hot, mineral-rich water. These amazing spots support unique life forms like giant tube worms completely cut off from the sun's energy. Guess what? The longest boxing match in history wasn't just long, it was epic. It happened way back in 1893 and lasted an unbelievable 110 rounds between Andy Bowen and Jack Burke. Hawaii is one of only 4 U.S. states that completely bans billboards, which is pretty awesome for keeping the views pristine. They passed the law in 1927, wanting to preserve the natural beauty. You gotta hear this, President Harry S. Truman actually lived in Independence, Missouri for most of his life. His family home at 219 North Delaware Street was his primary residence from 1990 until his death in 1972. Al-Azhar University in Cairo, founded in 970 AD, is one of the oldest continually operating universities in the world. It's a major center of Islamic learning and scholarship, influential for over a millennium. Arbor Day, the holiday, all about planting trees, actually originated in Nebraska. Sterling Morton, a newspaper editor, started it way back in Nebraska City in 1872, leading to over 1 million trees being planted that first year. The movie Akira 1988 had an absolutely insane budget for its time, costing about 1.1 billion Japanese yen, which was roughly 9.5 million US dollars. It was one of the most expensive anime films ever made back then. New Zealand is home to Lake Rothermere Whenua, also known as Blue Lake, which has the clearest natural freshwater in the entire world. Scientists measured its visibility at an incredible 80 meters, practically optical purity. A woman named Mary Cordelia Montgomery Church made history in Tennessee by becoming the very first woman elected to the General Assembly. She took her seat back in 1923, just 3 years after women gained the right to vote. The very first webcam ever wasn't for selfies, no joke. It watched a coffee pot. Scientists at Cambridge University used it back in 1991 to check if the Trojan room coffee machine was empty without leaving their desks. While we usually say the moon has no atmosphere, it actually has a super thin, fragile exosphere made of gases like argon and helium. It's so thin you wouldn't even notice it way less dense than Earth's. No joke. Watkins Glen International in upstate New York is one of America's most historic road courses. It's hosted Formula One races and NASCAR events for decades, drawing huge crowds since 1948. The first live televised soccer match ever was in 1937, featuring Arsenal versus Arsenal reserves. It was a special exhibition game broadcast by the BBC. You know that famous American Gothic painting with the serious farmer and his daughter? Turns out the actual house depicted in that iconic artwork is a real place in Eldon, Iowa, and you can totally go see it. You might not expect it, but Chile is actually home to several species of penguins, especially in its southern regions. You can even visit colonies of Humboldt penguins like those found on Magdalena Island near Punta Arenas. Here's a mind blower. Olympic gold medals haven't been made of pure gold since the 1912 Stockholm Games. They're actually sterling silver coated with at least 6 grams of pure gold, which is still super shiny. Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison pretty much bought an entire Hawaiian island. He acquired 98% of Lanai in 2012 for an estimated $300 million, turning it into a wellness tourism hub. One traditional Swedish dish is pult, which are big potato dumplings often filled with pork or bacon. They're usually served with lingonberry jam, and they're super filling. The famous bridge on the River Kwai from the movie is a real place in Kanchanaburi, Thailand. This historic landmark was part of the infamous Death Railway built during World War II. The ancient Maya developed the concept of zero, independently using a shell glyph as a placeholder in their sophisticated base 20 numbering system. They were using it around 36 BCE, centuries before it appeared in Europe. Burlington, Vermont made history by becoming the very first U.S. city to run entirely on 100% renewable energy for its electric grid. They hit that incredible milestone way back in 2014, powered by sources like hydro, wind, and biomass. Back in 1963, a gang pulled off the infamous Great Train Robbery, stealing a whopping $2.6 million in cash from a Royal Mail train. That's like over $60 million today adjusted for inflation. Flying directly over Mount Everest is actually illegal for commercial airplanes. It's too dangerous since the air is so thin that engines can lose thrust, and emergency glides would be impossible due to terrain. Ever wonder where AC/DC got their electrifying name? Turns out, Angus and Malcolm Young's sister Margaret saw AC/DC on her sewing machine and suggested it, loving its power connection. Who knew a singer could inspire a rock band? There's a super-Earth exoplanet called 55 Cancri E that might be largely made of diamond. It's about twice the size of our Earth and super hot, so it's a truly dazzling world. Imagine landing there, would be epic. The red supergiant star, Betelgeuse, is so incredibly massive that if you swapped it with our sun, its surface would extend past Jupiter. This star is like 700 times bigger than our sun, which is just wild. Imagine that. The super popular soda Pepsi-Cola was first concocted right there in New Bern, North Carolina. Pharmacist Caleb Bradham whipped up the original formula back in 1893, and it's been a global hit ever since. The color Hunter's Orange became a mandatory safety color in many states after a series of hunting accidents in the mid-20th century. Deer are largely colorblind to orange, making hunters super visible to other people, but not to their prey. In the 1960s, cities like New York and even some European countries totally banned skateboarding due to safety concerns. They thought it was too dangerous for public streets, but skaters always found a way. Information in your brain can actually zoom around at speeds up to 268 miles per hour. That's way faster than a high-speed bullet train or a Formula 1 race car. Your eyes actually take in images upside down, and your brain is the real hero that flips them right side up for you. It's like your brain is constantly doing a little magic trick. Your brain is actually incredibly plastic, meaning it can reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout your entire life. This amazing process, called neuroplasticity, lets it adapt to injuries or new experiences. The Barrackville Covered Bridge, built in 1853 in Marion County, is West Virginia's oldest surviving covered bridge. It's an iconic piece of history connecting communities for over 170 years now. Pretty cool. If you enjoyed these, subscribe for daily facts and catch the shorts too.